Today is Monday, January the 4th. Welcome to the new trading year 2021. Hope you enjoyed the video of how to set Fibonacci's to look at 2021 predictive patterns. Anyhow, the Dow Jones and the New York Stock Exchange, all the stocks took a bit of a whopping today. And why would that be? Well, there's an election tomorrow in Georgia. And if the Democrats win both seats, the market is not going to be happy. But that's a short-term thing. The market is not the people. So whatever happens, happens. Sure, I'm a trader. I would like the market to go up, but I would also like common sense to take place in the government. So I'm really not worried about tomorrow, but also I'm not heavily invested in the market right now. I have about 50% cash, and the stocks that I'm holding are dividend stocks. But I did make a purchase today, and I'll talk about that. And I'm looking at another stock tomorrow to make a purchase of, but I'm going to wait for a signal. So anyways, there's the McClellan oscillator. The S&P finished off at 3,700. So if you look at Fibonacci's, which Fibonacci should we look at? Well, let's just delete all of our prior year Fibonacci's, and let's just look at most current patterns. And we could look at the most current wave, which is here to, could be there, but most of the points were there. That was a one-day exception. So we could be heading lower. Take a look at the cloud. Cloud's important. And we've said that we may be going down to test the cloud, and we should be also looking at this area here where the Chiku span comes down to this wall of support of candles that are running right along the 8 EMA. So I would expect us to be coming down to 36, 39 as early as tomorrow. That is also the top of the cloud, but later on in the month. So that's a bit much to predict there. But that point has already been touched one time, two times. So it's a current low that should very well be tested. Today did close that gap right there, so we can get rid of it. I'm going to introduce a new stock to you, but first of all, we'll take a look at Apple. Apple had a really big drop today. I don't have any Apple right now, but I'm dying to get into it because I know that they had a great first quarter for them, fourth quarter for us. So when they report at the end of January, I think it's around the 26th to 30th, you can expect something good there. So look at 124.35. If you just set a line across there and see, is that an important point? Well, it's where we took off from here. It's where we also retreated from here. So it's an important point, and it's also the 78.6 Fibonacci of, one of the Fibonacci's that we drew yesterday in our end of year forward-looking Fibonacci test. The other one, RKT, has fallen out of this wedge. So Andy had that on his trading list. It would be a short right now. I wouldn't be looking to buy it. Square, I still have shares in Square, but I rolled all of my short calls that would have expired this week to next week. And I rolled my calls that would have expired in January into February. So that enabled me to book about $1,000 of profit on 300 shares or 3 short contracts. So that's how I'm making money on Square every week, by just selling, rolling the original calls that I had, 240, 242.5, and 250. 250 is the February one that I now hold. The others are now the January the 15th. But Square did get that bounce off the 27.2 and just finished below the 8 EMA. So that's pretty nice. BBY now finds its support at the 200. The stock that I want to introduce you to today is this one. And where are we? New stocks. It's this one, ZG. Sorry, not ZG, ZI. It's not Zoom like the video company. It's not Zoom Technologies, which is traded on the pink sheets and has been delisted because people were buying it thinking that it was Zoom Info Technologies. So it's been taken off the pink sheets until April. It is a company that's into market intelligence. And with the shift in buying patterns now from going to stores to online, companies are going to be looking to purchase market data and to hire consultants to help them to map out a new pattern in this new consumer world. It comes very highly recommended on tip ranks. So if we take a look at tip ranks, do that for you really quickly rather. People tend to lose interest after 4 or 5 minutes. Let me just call up ZI, Zoom Info Technologies. And you can see that the analysts have a target of 55.89. 9 of the analysts are all strong buy. And they are Ryan Williams, who is a 5-star analyst with a very high success rate. 14 days ago gave it a buy with a price target of 60. Stan Zlotsky, almost a 5-star analyst, very high success rate, very good average rate of return, has a target of 55, and so on and so forth. 63, 55. These are all 5-star analysts going right down to Brian Peterson, Alex Zukin, Tom Roderick. All the 5-star analysts have it down as a buy. So it was Tip Ranks that actually tipped me off on this one. So let's take a look at the chart. It hasn't been around all that long. It started trading in June of 2020 apparently. And I'm taking drawing a Gartley pattern here. And this is what is called it fits a deep crab pattern where it reaches 88.6% of XA. This would show C is within range. An ideal C would have been here, but it's within range. It shows that the target should be $70.69. But I handpicked this one. What if I used that one? It's still a pattern, but now it's really a very strong Gartley pattern. That's the high point, sure, but this is really where the majority of these 3 days settled on, was right in there as an average. So that's right on 61.8. And then you had the pull down to C, which was a little bit below this 38.2 of AB, but still in the acceptable, gray zone, with a target of, this one would have a target of 57.32, which is right in line with what the analysts are saying. So this is a stock to buy, and look at this. It bounced today beautifully off of the 50%. And if you look at it from a 5-minute point of view, it hit that Fibonacci at 11 this morning and just continued to move up. I am going to start nibbling on this stock tomorrow on a move up over the 61.8. So I'm going to create an alert right there, and I'm going to be diligent on this one. And if it moves up above 46.31, I'm going to start buying. And when it moves up above this value, I will buy some more. And then I'm going to wait for it at 50.44. And I'm going to wait for it to clear that level, come back and test that level, and then finish off buying all that I want to buy. I will get out of it probably at 43.48. So if I get in, I'm going to create an alert there, and I would get out. I would put my stop right below there. I don't like putting in hard stops where my stock gets traded when I'm not watching it. I like to be watching it, get an alert, and say now is when my technicals are telling me to get out. but I'm not going to do it automatically. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to look at a 1 minute and 5 minute chart, particularly the cloud, pivot points, Fibonacci's, and find out if it's a temporary pullback below this point or if it's really doing a deep dive, and then I want to get out. So look at ZI and see if you don't agree with me there that it could be a pretty interesting stock to take a look at.